You are live. Y'all, we have to laugh at technology sometimes because it's almost as if it's talking to a child, or I don't know. But I just saw, when I clicked on the video, it says you are live. Imagine that we need technology to tell us that we are living in a subconscious way, or we do, because our alarm clocks may go off, or we may have pain, and that may sometimes be what tell. No, well, that's not technology. Yeah, yeah. So the alarm clock is. I don't know. I just a random thought. Look, we've got less than a minute to go for today's message. I came on just a little bit earlier because I changed my time for today's broadcast, but not much earlier. And that's my tech tip for you. If you're going to be a presenter, try not to wait to come on at the time that you said. Like if you say 12, don't come on at 12. Come on at, 2 or 3 minutes to 12. I came on at 1.5 minutes to 12. Okay. Give people a chance to settle in. And that's what I decided to do today, was just give it a 1.5 minutes settle in. And I keep looking at the clock because I know it's about time. Okay. All right. So here we go. Here we go. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Well, okay. Hey, goodness to you. It's Sporty King. And I always say goodness. Why? Because I don't know whether you're watching morning, afternoon, or evening. But isn't it great to have good in front of your salutation? Welcome to Truth Thursday. Okay. And when I created this broadcast, we recognize that truth is TRUF. TRUTH, not truths. Truth. TRUTH, that tests are rarely understood until testimonies heal. Presentation, creativity tip. How I created this broadcast title was, first I decided the fact that truth only needs half the letters in the word Thursday, because I had decided to commit to using Thursday. Second, we've all heard that the truth shall set you free. Well, guess what? What we need to add is that freedom can be a tough choice, because freedom is a result. See, once you decide to be free, you may have to choose different surroundings. Freedom is a tough choice. And my affirmation for freedom is FREE, facts, risks, empathy, and excellence. Like truth, you'll find it in my book, Affirmations. Now, affirmation is an acronym that brings words to life. Let's get back there. An acronym that will define the word and bring it to life, turn it into an affirmation. And where am I? And my affirmation for free is facts, risk, empathy, and excellence, right? But when we bring that to life, we see that true freedom is based on facts, not luck or guesses. And using that plus the second word, risk, RISK, is an affirmation within itself. And that recognition is success's key. We're reminded that once you know who you are, you have to also be ready to take a chance on being who you are. And we may not know how important it is to take that chance until we do. But I always say that freedom is a worthy risk, and it's a worthy result. So getting into what truth stands for, we'll continue to start by embracing that first word, and that is test. See, test is the root. You can't have the freedom, forecast, and fullness of a testimony without the test. Thus, my guiding scripture today will be Proverbs 13:3. Those who control their tongue will have a long life. A quick retort can ruin everything. And that will connect us to today's test of get your W. And we hear it all the time with sports, get your W. Well, one of the base principles in my business and life is that words are powerful. And we have to control our vocabulary rather than allowing our vocabulary to control us. Because when you change your vocabulary, you can change your life. When your words are positive, WORDS becomes what others remember and digest, strengthens spirits. You look great. I'm so proud of you. I wish you the best. You make a difference. Bless you. Positive output, positive input, positive results. What others remember and digest strengthens spirit. But when your words are negative, WORDS becomes what others remember destroys spirits. You look terrible. I can't stand you. I hope you fail. You'll never amount to anything. I wish you would never. Feel it? Negative output, negative input, negative results. What are your words doing? Are they boosting people up or are they knocking people down? Nurturing negativity or promoting positivity? Now, one of my most requested and interactive sessions is called How to Get an F in Life, where life is LIFE, lessons intended for everyone. Another one of my affirmations. When I deliver it for my military family, I start out by introducing it as how to get an F in deployment. But I use that because then I switch it to how to get an F in life by reminding them that deployment is what they do, not who they are. Be sure that you're embracing your life lessons, which infuse and inspire and create what you do. But it's not always who you are. It's your life is about who you are. And because I think that the letter F gets a bad rap, always seen as a negative. Oh, I don't want to get an F. I don't want to get an F. Well, in controlling my vocabulary rather than allowing it to control me, I don't let that F control me as a failure. I decide that my F's, the 5 of them, and they stand for focus, faith, fun, friends, and freedom. See, turning a negative into a positive. You see, part of turning negatives into positive is controlling your vocabulary rather than allowing your vocabulary to control you. And today, I'll be sharing and applying a different proverb to each of my 5 F's to deliver and cement my truth, to get your W. The first one is faith, and that's Proverbs 18:4. A person's words can be life-giving water. Words of true wisdom are as refreshing as a bubbling brook. You see, faith is FAITH, feeling as if there's hope, recognizing that the only thing you cannot do is give up. And think about it. In most cases, you have it. What's going on, Sharif? Man, long time, brother. Hope all is well in Chicago. But the only thing you cannot do is give up. And you know, and you got to be conscious of the cliches that we use in life, because what we say makes a difference. Finish this one for me. When one door closes, most people say another will open. But I say when one door closes, go for the windows. Go for the windows, because there's usually more windows than there are doors. And what we have to do is put ourselves in position to make another good decision. Ladies and gentlemen, we make a lot of good decisions, but we tend to focus on the bad decisions that we make, thinking that that's going to help them get better. In a way, it will, but if what you focus on, you ferment. So if you over-focus on your errors, they get stronger because they become I'm watching and I'm listening. That's right, because they become the dominant mindset for you. So focus on your positives, and then you start to erase your negatives. And then one time when I said, when one door closes, one guy shouted out, it locks. Yeah, so you have to remember, life is not dress rehearsal. This is the real thing. And sometimes that door that opens, that other door that opens, number one, it might not be your door. And number two, it may lock when the other door closes. When other door closes. So hurry up, know what you're looking for so that you can get to the door that you need with water to flow from. My next F is fun, F-U-N, Proverbs 10:11. The words of the godly lead to life. Evil people, and I want to go back because I want to just close out with, again, closing out, cementing faith as Proverbs 18:4. A person's words can be life-giving water. Words of wisdom, of true wisdom, are refreshing as a bubbling brook. How are your words flowing? And then fun. The words of the godly, Proverbs 10:11. The words of the godly lead to life, and evil people cover up their harmful intentions. Now, fun for me is FUN. Friends understand needs. Excuse me. Friends understand needs. And so you have to understand that your friends don't have to be perfect. They have to be perfect for you. Friends don't have to be perfect. They have to be perfect for you. What kind of fun are you and your friends having? Proverbs 10 and 11. The words of the godly lead to life. Evil people cover up their harmful intentions. Are your friends covering up harmful intentions for you? Are they really your friends? And is that why you're having fun? And that's why, what do? How do you know who your friends are? Well, you have to look at your characteristics. First of all, Proverbs 11 and 9 says, evil words destroy one's friends. Wise discernment rescues the godly. And friends, FRIENDS, fun, real, interesting, easy, new, decent, and self. Just some characteristics of friendship. If you have those characteristics, then you have the right to look for them. See, don't force yourself into a friendship with someone that you don't particularly care for. And don't decide, well, you know what? I like 3 of the 5 things that they do. I don't like those other 2, but I want to be their friend anyway. No, to me, I go 5 for 5. And in this case, we got 7. So if they don't have all 7 of those characteristics, and they don't have to have, PS, by the way, they don't have to have those 7 characteristics. They have to have matching characteristics, characteristics that mirror or accept mine, or I can accept theirs. And that's a tough choice because I know, hey, I'm in my 70s, my first 70 actually. And you may be in your 30s. You say, well, he's kind of an old guy. No, I've been doing that since in my 20s. So it's really about when you decide to get your message, when you decide to really understand. And now I'm thinking out loud, I've had even before my 20s, because I think that you really get your best friends in your teens, when you have the same economic levels in school, where nobody's worrying about who's got a job, how much money somebody's making, etc. But then it boils over into when you get into your professional life or your work life, and you find out that now you have to make new friends. Well, you have to make friends according to who you are, your morals and values. So these are some characteristics that I think help you choose your friends. Evil words will destroy your friends. It won't be a good choice if you got negative friends. And wise discernment rescues the godly. Proverbs 11 and 9 equal friends. Okay, and then focus. Though Proverbs 12, 18, and 21. Those who love to talk will experience the consequences, for the tongue can kill or nourish life. Now, focus for me is FOCUS. Finding ourselves creates unlimited success. Focus on you and let others come into focus. See, once it goes back to risk, recognition is success is key. Once you focus on who you are, then you start to see who's there to support you and who's there to try to knock you down. Focus on you, and other people will surely come into focus, because you'll start to see, hey, wait a minute, I thought this guy, this woman had my back, but they've been waiting for me to slip and fall so they can help keep me down. But this is why when you're choosing your friends, this is why the focus has got to be on you. And remember those characteristics we talked about in friendship? Focus on your characteristics. That way you can see who else has them and who you bring into the fray, who you bring into your front row, your first rows in your life. That makes a difference. Now, the Bible I read is called the Touchpoint Living Bible, and it has modern day application to scripture to help us understand scripture better. And not all of them, all scripture has what they call touch points, similar to a concordance where it explains the scripture a little better. Not all of them do, but this one does. Proverbs 18 and 21 does have a touch point. And here it is. You should see it in that word in the second line at the end where it says consequences. Well, focus. Those who love to talk will experience the consequences, for the tongue will kill or nourish life. Focus on you and let others come into focus. And once you focus on you, others will come into focus. And that's what it's called. That's where you get the consequences. Words may appear to be harmless, merely little containers that carry ideas and thoughts. But what they carry can be deadly. You see, our words can destroy a mate's self-esteem or a child's sense of personal value. Remember when we talked about negative, WORDS? With our own words, we can tear ourselves down by repeating what is negative, discouraging, or simply untrue. With our words, we can discourage or frighten others or destroy their reputation. Our words may be evil and thus violate God's holy ways for us. Words bring consequences as surely as actions do. Finding ourselves creates unlimited success. Focus on you and let others come into focus. And that was what? Proverbs 18 and 21. And so the last C, the last F is free, F-R-E-E. The words from Proverbs 12 and 6, the words of the wicked are like a murderous ambush, but the words of the godly save lives. And free is F-R-E-E, facts, risk, empathy, and excellence, which we see when I talk about free, an opening of Truth Thursday. But freedom is based on facts. Remember that, not luck. And recognition is success is key. You need to recognize that you have what it takes to save lives. That's the empathy and the excellence. You understand the facts. And so once you see what the facts are, you start to see what characteristic traits you have and how that helps you make a difference in saving lives. And hey, what's going on, Lorenzo? Finally, yeah, that's another F, by the way. Finally, and Lorenzo's saying finally, partially, because he told me he's been haven't been able to get on the live broadcast with me for a while because things have been going on. Well, right, because life is lifing. And I always appreciate you, Lorenzo, you know that, but I love it how this is what happens. He comes on with an F, finally. See, so finally, the F is not always a bad thing to get. You want to get your F. You want to get your finally. You want to get your final word in with God. Where's your final resting place? See, bring all of that together, okay? So the truth is that words are powerful. And we have to control our vocabulary instead of letting our vocabulary control us. Because when you change your vocabulary, you can change your life and somebody else's life. So measure your words to determine if you're nurturing negativity or promoting positivity. We need you to do what? We need you to get your words under control. Remember, freedom is a worthy result and even a risk. You have to know what your words are doing and continue to be who you are. When you join us on Truth Thursday, when we recognize that tests are rarely understood until those testimonies heal them. And the words will bring the testimonies healing to them. So make sure that you get your W, get your win by making sure that you get your words together so that you can get your life together. I'm Sporty King. And what you can do is follow this QR code to my store where you can purchase your book of affirmations, and words are in there, and life and free, and you can get that, or you can sign up to receive my monthly fun letter and some other free stuff to keep you connected to the truth at the top line on Square. And that's what you'll see when you get through that QR code. Okay. But thank you, Lorenzo, for the final word. Never fanciful, but fearless and faithful. Alliteration with F. And that's the key too, by the way, that the words, when you learn how to play, controlling your words also means knowing how to play with them and to have fun with them. And fun is one of the F's. But there you go, Lorenzo. Never fanciful, but fearless and faithful. Remember, yeah, God has not given us the spirit of fear. He's given us the spirit of faith. Even though I have fear as F-E-A-R, turn it from a negative into a positive, faith eventually attracts resources. See, once you decide to step out on faith, it can be a little scary. And people don't know why, this is for entrepreneurs especially, people don't know why you dare to leave your job to do such and such. Well, it can be a little scary, but after a while, people start to see, wait a minute, I see your vision. Eventually, it'll attract the resource. I see your vision. Hey, maybe now I can help you. A lot of times people don't know how to help you. This goes back to focus. See how they all come together? focus on you and let us come into focus. Maybe the reason someone didn't help you before is because they couldn't understand your vision. And so now once they understand your vision, they say, oh, wait a minute, I can help you. I thought I couldn't. It's always about you, okay? So be proud of you so much. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Lorenzo. I'm proud of you too, brother. And again, there we go. What others remember and digest strengthens spirits. Lorenzo strengthens my spirit when he says things like that. Me, I strengthen his when I say things like that to him, and especially when I get to crack up laughing when he's singing on some of his posts on Instagram. You know, this is and this is just what God has done for us. And this is one of the pluses of the pandemic. Sure, there's some negatives. Remember, there's negatives and positives to everything, but a lot of friendships have been gained through the pandemic, where people had to go online. And as much as some people say, well, but you know, we need to get back to speaking to one another, this is kind of where the future is going, y'all. So let's get caught up. Let's recognize that we have to make sure we're using both interpersonal and personal skills and technology skills, because a lot of times so much can get done when we make sure that we're proud of one another and call one another brother and sister, because we're all in this together. I have a slide I love to use where it says we all smile in the same language. With all that's going on in our world, sometimes it's easy to lose focus of that. But let's make sure that we don't lose focus of that, okay? Let's make sure that we find ways to come together. There I go. Find ways to come together. And there I go. Oh, wait a minute. I'm trying to get me just bigger. Oh, here it is. Da-da-da. All right. I just talked about figuring out technology, but we need to figure out which buttons to press. And be conscious of knowing what people know which buttons to press to get you upset as well. Make sure that you know which buttons to press to keep yourself level and be able to deal with this, because this nonsense, this too shall pass. The battle is not yours. So I'm gonna give a 10-second countdown. Truth is, we can kind each other. We can kind each other, not just be kind. We can kind each other, because we can be one of a kind. We can help someone. See, again, and I love it, because see, this is what words are all about. See, so what Lorenzo has done is make me stop to look at his words and how I can use them better to understand. And guess what? I might not say what he meant, but what I say may make him see what he said in a different light. And then that's where the sharing happens. You say, wait a minute, that's not what I meant, but I like where you're going with that. That works too. I have that happen to me a lot with my poetry and with my writing. You know, where I said something, somebody said, oh, I thought, and I said, oh, I didn't look at it that way. But that's the kindness that we have to have. I don't have to always be right. I have to always be sporty. Bing. So let me give you a 10-second countdown before I say to you, let's get out of here and have a wonderful day. And so the last word may be, truth is, we can kind each other, be one of a kind, or we can get another word from Lorenzo. But even if you're watching the video, put your words in there as well. Okay? So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and God is the one. You get your W.